Hi, I'm Steve Currington and you're watching The Future of Real Estate. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 things that I think you shouldn't do when you're applying for a mortgage or when you're trying to buy a house. The number one thing is don't apply for any credit. Don't make any big credit decisions, buying a car, opening up new credit cards, things like that when you're in the loan process. We may have to re-pull your credit at some point if it takes you a while to find a house. So we want to make sure that there's not any new debt that comes on there. We also want to make sure that it doesn't affect your credit score negatively. Number 2 is we want to make sure that you don't stop paying any debt. So if there's a time that you want to make sure that every bill's paid, it's paid on time or even paid early, it's when you're in the process of getting a loan. We have customers that didn't pay their student loan, or their student loan was deferred and they didn't get it back on deferment and it reported 60 days late. That can affect your score as much as 60, 80, 100 points and take you from being approved for a loan to not being approved for a loan. Third, don't make any large purchases. So this would be things like appliances, TVs, things like that you might finance. So don't, while you're in the process of buying a house, go to Best Buy and buy a new TV and a new computer, new appliances for your house and finance those. Now if you're paying cash for things, that's fine. I just advise you to keep in mind that you want to wait until you know that you're closing on your house and you get within a few days of that, so that you don't buy a bunch of appliances and if something goes wrong, you don't actually buy the house, then you don't have all these new appliances that you can't use for your current residence. Fourth, don't cancel your lease agreements. Don't contact your landlord or your apartment complex or whoever it is that you're leasing from and cancel that lease until you know for sure that you've got a house, you're in contract, and you're within 30 days of that closing date. You'll want to let them know that. But I would advise you to just give yourself a little bit of time between when your lease is up and when you're closing on the house, so you can give yourself basically some moving time. You want to make sure that you're not moving out of one house one day and moving into the other house the next day. Lastly, don't change jobs. Even if you're going to change jobs to make more money, don't do that while you're in the loan process. If you're doing that while you're out looking for a house, just want to check with your lender and make sure that it's not going to mess anything up with your loan approval. But just as a general rule, don't change jobs. It can delay the process. It can either make it where you can't buy a house, or it can delay your closing happening on time. So those 5 things you just want to pay attention to, especially first-time home buyers. I'm Steve Currington. Again, you're watching The Future of Real Estate. You can contact our office at 918-394-LOAN. That's 918-394-5626.